Pallavi, tell us, how do you think you have performed at this mock interview?
So I think average, good, along the lines, better than I expected. It's one of my first mock
This is
interviews.
your first mock?
Yes, sir.
How many mocks are you going to attend after this?
Sir, I'm not sure because my interview date hasn't been scheduled yet.
Okay, it's post-March, that means.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And for the first time you are appearing at the UPSC Civil Services interview?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Pallavi, let me first of all tell you that your performance has been very good, outstanding.
Thank you, sir.
And but that is, having said that, now that you have come so far, and since you are a first class candidate for getting a very high percentage of marks at the interview, if this is the indication of what you did today, of course everything will depend on your written marks also.
Yes, sir.
But don't be complacent for the next about 1.5 months.
Right,
Here is
sir.
a chance, and you should take this challenge and get over it and get exceedingly good marks. You should aim for something around 200 marks or so. Okay.
Thank you, sir. That's
All
very
right.
kind.
Now, having said that, Pallavi, let me tell you some of the positive things which you possess. You were mentally very alert and yet very calm, and you were able to articulate your answers very well. A choice of words, structuring of sentences, and everything pertaining to the priorities of the answer, because answers have to be prioritized, and you were able to prioritize the answer, which again is a very good thing. You were very clear and succinct and logical in your expressions, clarity of thought and confidence, and at the same time you were able to think while standing there on your legs, the figuratively. So I would say that you have done exceedingly well. But then there are certain things which we would like to say. Your communication skills are par excellence, very good. Your attitude is also very positive. Your knowledge is also exceedingly good. But just to supplement what, because naturally we cannot ask all the questions, and you will be asked questions definitely regarding Madhya Pradesh, regarding Bhopal. So read through the Gazetteer of Bhopal, which are the important institutions, why it is important in terms of areas which I would just quickly glance through it.
Yes, sir.
The history of Madhya Pradesh, the social problems of Madhya Pradesh, industries, culture, tourism, eating habits, the main crops, the water potential, the power, everything about that. Okay. And then about your own district, that is Bhopal. That is one. The second is that since you have done your classical music is your mainstay, so naturally that is your hobby. So a lot many questions will be asked you. Some of them questions we did ask you, but there may be, you may invite many questions on that. Reading thriller, pick up one thriller which you have read.
Okay, sir.
Okay, one thriller. So that if they ask you which is the thriller you have read, you may name that thriller, and they can ask you questions on that. House captain, I asked you many questions. So the foundational values which are required for a civil servant. What does ethics and values mean for a civil servant? That you should know. And then coming to the law. So read the constitution once again. I'm sure you must have read it so many times.
Yes, sir.
And the different statutes and enactments pertaining to the women, pertaining to children, pertaining to the senior citizens, everything you should go through that. So Domestic Violence Act and Equal Remuneration Act and Eve Teasing Act and Dowry Prohibition Act and POSH, everything.
All right, sir.
All right. Then regarding children, POXO Act and Juvenile Justice Act, and similarly for senior citizens also.
Yes, sir.
India and its neighbors. Read the policy of India, foreign policy vis-a-vis the neighbors.
Yes, sir.
And then the policy of India vis-a-vis the other important countries. The place of India as a permanent member of Security Council, that of course is something which keeps on raising head. And then the role of the United Nations is vis-a-vis, for example, respect of Ukraine and Russia war.
Yes, sir.
We have found that it has not been able to have any influence in stopping that war.
Yes,
so
sir.
why the effect is going down? You must go through that. The reforms in the Bretton Woods institutions and other institutions,
Yes, sir.
role of WHO, COVID-19, the global issues which are being faced by the world, that is the poverty and hunger and
Yes, sir.
migration and drugs and
Climate
COVID-19
change.
and climate change,
Yes, sir.
terrorism, all these things you should.
sir.
The Millennium Development Goals and the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes, sir.
Also read through the budget. Your
Yes, sir.
interview is going to be
In
post March. So
Yes,
budget would be there, and economic survey
Economic
of
survey.
India, go
Yes,
through
sir.
that also.
Okay, sir.
And the privatization of the PSUs, that is the policy which the government is pursuing nowadays. Divestment, disinvestment,
sir.
now privatization. So read through the asset monetization pipeline which
Yes,
the
sir.
finance minister announced. Go through the Niti Aayog website and try to find out what exactly is there. And then in constitution, everything regarding president and vice president, impeachment of judges, and how the judges are appointed, what are the lacunas in that. The enactment which was brought about by the government of India, it was struck down by
NGSC.
yeah.
Yes,
So then what is there? Is it in a limbo? What exactly needs to be done? The collegium system, is it the best one, or
Yes,
it
sir.
needs to be replaced by another system? All these things, questions may be asked to you. And then e-governance and the good governance principle. And there are many other things relating to reservation of women, for example, issues relating to that. What will you do in case you come across a situation in which the women of a society in your district are facing certain problems? How will you ensure justice is given to them? How will you ensure the enrollment of the girls in your school, and so on? These things issued. Women empowerment, gender sensitization, and posh, they will be definitely there. And then things concerning the revenue administration, understand that. Go to a collector's office, go to a block development office, go to a village
sir.
to see how things happen. And that, because even if though Indian Foreign Service is one of it's number 2 preference, isn't it? So number 1 is still Indian Administrative Service. So you need to know about the Zilla Parishad, 73rd, 74th Amendment, how things actually happen. What are the funds, functionaries?
Three
That is the
Fs.
concept.
Yes,
3
sir.
things which are important thing like Kara, like PESA, and soft power, welfare state, which are the official actors, which are the unofficial actors in the policy making process. That you should go through.
Okay, sir.
And why why civil service? That is the question which you must prepare that well.
Okay, sir.
So that's about it. If you have any questions, you can ask us.
Sir, I actually wanted feedback on the areas that I was getting stuck in. I wanted your advice. Again, Hindustani classical music is the area that I kept getting stuck on. It's such a wide area, and perhaps I won't be able to answer most of the
understand.
questions that
Actually,
might be put to me. How do I
see,
go
the
about
thing is-
preparing for
Straight
that?
away announced you are from Gwalior Gharana and this is what.
Actually,
Okay, ma'am.
you see,
So that
Gwalior
might limit the
Gharana,
scope
yeah.
of questions.
And you are very good. I mean, you're really good. Since you have taken this formal degree,
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm a musician myself and have some grounding in music and have studied out of passion. But these questions, these are not easy questions, I can assure you.
Okay, sir.
Ucharna bhed, rag bhed, and characteristics of, various.
Different
These are technical things.
Okay, sir.
But if you have, there is a wonderful book by Pandit Ram Ashray Jha,
Okay, sir.
Swar Geetanjali.
Yes, sir.
Abhinav
Swargitanjali.
Geetanjali.
So these are the books that we are referred to in the course. These are the books that we've read in the course.
Just be thorough with what you have already done.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this,
Don't get confused at this stage that
if
you have to
can,
do this, you have
if
to do
whatever
this.
you can recall.
Yes,
See,
sir.
whatever you've
Brush
studied,
it up.
only that you can.
You see, you don't have to bluff.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, absolutely fine.
whatever.
You're not expected to know everything.
So your Gharana is fine.
Okay.
And if they ask any questions, it may be, you may not be knowing that. So you can always.
Some eminent singers of your gharana,
Yes, sir.
rags of your gharana.
Rags,
These
singers.
are the common ones.
Okay, sir.
But your answers in respect.
They were quite
of-
good.
They were very good.
The music was, you came out quite well. What is the learning from music which you can carry from there, or how is that helped you to develop as a person? What you are. Those kind of generic questions you can also
Okay, ma'am.
think about.
Yes, ma'am.
So otherwise,
And this,
just brush up whatever you have.
These rags are according to prayer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
समय राग की जो वो है
Samay,
ना,
time theory of music.
तो प्रथम प्रहर, द्वितीय
Dvitiya
प्रहर,
prayer,
तृतीय
Uttarang,
प्रहर,
Purvang.
उस हिसाब से देख लो.
So whatever you have, just brush that up.
Okay.
Any more questions?
I think I'm actually quite happy with the feedback.
We are also happy.
So
We'll
will
wish
do
you all
very
the
well.
best.
You will do
Thank
very
you,
well.
sir.
Just don't be complacent and go on, moving in the direction in which we have indicated to you.
Okay,
And I
sir.
can assure you that you will be performing exceedingly well in
Thank you,
terms
sir.
of your interview. Okay. we'd like to see you as the future civil servant.
Thank you so much. Sir.
What's your
Thank
first
you.
choice?
Administrative
IAS.
services.
Not foreign service?
It's my second preference.
No. Here in paper. I'm not asking on paper.
My first preference is administrative services.
Still
in
it is.
life.
Your heart
Yes,
is
ma'am.
there.
I want to work at the ground level,
Okay.
which is something that only administrative services
Okay.
can provide.
So
All the
diplomats work in the air, right?
Sorry, sir.
The diplomats work in the air.
No, sir. Thank you so
I
much.
understand. All the best.